Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everybody, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Rap Ministries, that's Reaching Out People Ministries, and I am so thankful that you have joined us today. Great day to be alive, brothers and sisters. Just a great day to be alive. Like I tell you every week, major tragedy. You know, the people in the submarine that imploded. You hate that happened to them, but life is so precious. Life is so fragile. That's why it's very important that we are right with the Most High. They gone. You know, they won't be back until the first or second resurrection. So, you know, we just want to take this time right now to encourage you to get your life right, and condolences for those that lost their loved ones, you know. But like I said, great day to be alive. You know, we ain't got nothing we can complain about. If you got problems in your life, guess what? Somebody's problems is always worse than yours. So what we do is we walk through this life praising the Most High and trying to keep His commandments to the best of our ability and take it as it comes. Take it as it comes. We see you, Sister Sheila. Thank you for coming on in today. Thank you for coming on in today. Mama J. Pope, Mother Pope, thank you for coming on in today. Daughter of Sarah, bless you as well. Blessings to you as well. Levon Pope, shalom to you, brother. Shalom to you. Yeah, all praises to the Most High Yah. Sister Erica Yashel, Elder Henry from the Ohio crew, double honor to the elder. Thank you for coming on in today. Sister Auntie, we see you. You and your whole household, we see you. Thank you for coming on in today. Yeah, that's what they say. The original, I don't see the fascination with all this Titanic stuff. You know, they got a museum in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. You can go to that. They got a Titanic museum. I'm like, how? I ain't go, but you see it when you're down there, but or up there. I don't see the fascination. I don't see the fascination with that at all. That's the great deep. When you fooling with no great deep, man. That's what the Bible called it, the great deep. You know? Well, thank everybody for coming on in today. Give everybody a moment or two to come on in. Just so happy. Y'all don't know. Every day that these eyes open and I'm here, I praise the Most High. I praise Him because you don't know when your last breath gonna be. The Bible tell us that Moses in the Psalm said, "Teach us to number our days." Our days are numbered, y'all. So you gotta do the best you can. You know, do until the breath leave your body, and pray that you endure to the end. Key to life is Torah. Thank you for coming on in, brother and sister. North Carolina crew, really, truly, truly appreciate you. Thank you. Just thank everybody that's here. Got a great teaching for you today. You know, we're gonna do the adultery today. Woo! Brother Jeff Hardison and wife, thank you for coming on in. I appreciate you. Well, like I said, we got a great lesson today. Super fantastic lesson. It's gonna go. You might think I know it not. No, you don't know what I'm gonna talk about today. You know, most Sunday goers, they think, yeah, I got the adultery. I got that one down. I'm not doing that one. Is that right? Is that right? But let me shut this music off. You know, I try to give everybody a moment to get on in here. You know, like our Nashville crew, brother Zachariah Z and the family, and sister Yanis. She informed me this morning that she's gonna catch the replay. She's just a little tired today. Understandable. You know, very understandable. And you know, I thank people for giving me a heads up. You know. Ooh, all right. There they go. Zechariah Z and the family. Thank you for coming on in today. Zechariah Z and the family. We see you grind like Josh. Thank you for coming on in, brother. Grind like Josh. Thank you for coming on in. Always a pleasure to see you. Always a pleasure to see everyone. Damon D from Zachariah Z and the family. Thank you for coming on in. I know Zachariah Z, he like me, he got a house full. So, you know, him and his wife, Rhea Nunn, and mother CA, just thank the Most High for Zachariah Z and his family. But I'm going to shut the music off and I'm going to decrease that he might increase. I don't want to keep everybody here longer than we have to be. I respect others. I respect others' time. Okay, how do I get that down? Okay, there you go. All right, let me make sure as usual that it pops up. Okay, you be in and out. Okay. All right. It's always up for the peeps. It's always up. I said I'm gonna turn the music off. We can get out of there and turn the music off. All right, there we go. Now I got to do all that again. Play from the start. Okay, we're gonna pray. We're gonna get on into the scripts as soon as I see it in YouTube popped up correctly. There it is. There it is. Abba, Heavenly Father, we just thank you for today, your holy Sabbath day, the day you hung in creation many millennia ago. Abba, we just thank you for everything today. We thank you for your people, for your fellowship. And we thank you that you will bless them, that you will edify them, and you will change them for the better in their lives. Father, we also thank you that the people that hear the word today, that they will not only be a hearer of their word, but they will be a doer of their word. And when they do it, they will glorify you. Father, we just bind up the enemy. We bind up the devil. We bind up any satanic attack. And we thank you right now that you alone get all the praise, all the honor, all the glory. Do your mighty, magnificent name, and that your Ruach will flow in this teaching. Father, I just thank you for all these things we just prayed in the mighty, mighty name of your son, Yeshua HaMashiach. Amen. Okay. All right. Thank you for that, Sister Rhea Nunn, wife of Zachariah Z and the family. Said her puppy made a mess. Uh-oh. My kids want a dog. I said, y'all gonna be willing to clean that stuff up? They was like, I was like, we ain't gonna have no dog. They are a lot of work and a lot of responsibility, just like a child. But we gonna get on into the oh, okay. That's you doing good to center that, Sister Rhiannon. All right, we're gonna get on into the scripts. But what we talking about? We know we in a series on the Ten Commandments, and I just felt that it was right to do this because we need to tell the people about the Ten Commandments because this is what everybody gonna be judged by. This the Torah. This is the judgment. So far we have already done I think either 6 or 7 volumes. I'm not sure. I get it all mixed up. But volume 1, we got into the first 2 commandments, which we showed you the biblical 10 commandments versus the Catholic 10 commandments, how they took some commandments out, divided one to make it 2, that kind of thing. And we told you that the 10 commandments is nothing but a table of contents, basically. The 2, which is the 2, which are tablets like this. You got 2 tables. 1 table, 2 expand out to these 10, and then these 10s expand out to the rest of the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. So, like I said, 1 is loving the Most High, and the other is loving neighbors. But really, all 10 of them still is loving the Most High, right? And loving your neighbor as well. Why? Because on the first tablet, which is thou shalt not have no other gods, thou shalt not make any graven images, don't bow down to them, keep the Sabbath. If you love your neighbor, you would teach them that stuff too. So they're basically a table of contents. So I cut a lot of the front end off like I normally have up, because we got a lot of information to cover today. But I did keep this one in here. And it's the Matthew 7, Matthew chapter 7. I'm not going to even go into all of this, guys. You know what it is. All of the law and the commandments hang on to loving the Most High, loving your neighbor. And if you do these things, which is the golden rule, you will go into the gates of New Jerusalem. You will get there. You will get eternal life. We got a lot to cover today. But we showed you volume 2. What does it mean to take the Most High name in vain? And as we go through the commandments, you'll see how all of the commandments are intertwined with one another. You're going to see that today as well. So what we're going to go ahead and do, we're just going to start reading them till we get to the one that we're going to do today. Right, yeah, puppies, they are a lot of work. They are a lot of work. You had some, you're pregnant, you're taking care of 2 babies. Oh boy. But let's go ahead. Exodus 20. It says, and this is what I love to, when we dealing with any of the commandments, I always show them who said this. It says, and Yah. Some people say God spake all these words, saying, I am the Most High thy Elohim, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other Elohims before me. We showed you that was volume 1. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Got crosses, pictures of so-called Jesus. That's an idol. Got a Christmas tree. That's an idol. Wearing a cross around your neck. That's an idol. Got images of people tattooed on you. Idols. It says, thou shalt not make any graven image unto thee, or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is under the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow thyself down to them, nor serve them. For I, the Most High, thy Elohim, am a jealous Elohim, visiting the iniquity of the fathers against the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. That's how you show you love him, by keeping his commandments. We looked at, you shall not take them. We seen this. You, that finger pointing at you. Whoever out there hearing my voice, you don't take his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to what? Keep it holy. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Keep it Kodesh. Keep it set apart. Keep it sanctified. We see you, chief scientist. Thank you for coming on in today, brother. Thank you. 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Most High. That's his day. Nowhere else in the Bible does it call any other day his day. People get the revelation where it say, I was in the spirit on the Lord's day, and they think, oh, that's Sunday. No, it's not Sunday. Them calling the day that the Most High Sun rose, the Lord's day, that didn't come along to centuries later. Hence tradition. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in it, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Most High blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. He hallowed it. Yeah, them puppies, they some work. But the day, that 7th day, that's his day. We looked at honoring your mother and father, and we found out that meant you supposed to, by honoring them, you're obeying what they have taught you. And we saw, according to the scriptures, what they should have taught you, which was what? Torah. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy Elohim giveth thee. We showed you that. Go back. If you don't know, if you just new to the series, go back to volume volume 4. Last week was volume 5. You shall not kill. Murder, we found out it should be. Murder. Don't murder anybody. Because guess what? We doing all this because the Bible is the basic instructions before leaving this earth, right? Your body go back to the dirt and the spirit goes back to the Most High they gave it. That neshama go back to him. But so we showed you that. No killing, folks. No murdering, folks. We showed you that. I tell you, but what I'm going to say today is this class really is not for children. So I gave my children the day off. I said, y'all I don't have to listen to the lesson today. You guys, you don't need, if you want your kids to hear this, that's you. But I'm not going to be getting into any vulgar things or anything like that. But, some subject matter is not for them yet. They're not ready to handle everything. So, that's left up to your discretion. My oldest child is 12 years old, and I deem that he can learn this later. He can learn it later. They get happy. Yay! They get a day off today. And my youngest is 4. Of course, he wouldn't understand, no way. But I have a 10-year-old, and I also have an 8-year-old. They get the day off today. So what we talking about? Volume 6, Commandment 7, thou shalt not commit adultery. Woo, what does that mean? Thou shalt not commit adultery. Because what we're going to be talking about is wedlock today. We're going to be talking about wedlock. And a lot of people, what's wedlock? Oh, getting married. Yeah, that's right. But dictionary, wedlock, marriage, matrimony, holy matrimony. That should be more better. Holy matrimony. Because all these marriages out here ain't holy. If you catch my drift, we got some different kinds of marriages today. I'm trying to tell you. Holy matrimony, marriage state, union, conjugal bond. But what we're going to do, we're going to go to ETM, the etymology of the word wedlock. But the wedlock is the Old English wedlock. It said pledge giving. You marry somebody, you have pledged. Marriage, you have vowed. For it says from wed plus LAK, which is lack or lock. It says noun suffixing meaning actions or proceedings, practice, attested in about a dozen Old English compound. But this is the only surviving example. Suffix altered by folk etymology through association with lock. What lock? What? When you marry somebody, that's supposed to be what? What nothing can unlock it. Meaning condition of being married is recorded from the early 13th century. So we're gonna look up. We still under wedlock. We're gonna look up because the word wedlock is made from 2 words, wed and what? Lock. It says lock, meaning of what? Fastening. Your marriage should be fastened. It should be locked. It says appliance for fastening a door, a lid, barrier, enclosure, bargain, agreement, settlement, conclusion. That's it. Case closed, ironclad is locked. But we're going to skip down to the bottom. Old English, wedding. It said wed, to pledge oneself, covenant to do something, vow, betroth, marry, also unite in marriage, conduct the marriage ceremony. It's one that I was looking for. We're going to go down to the second paragraph. It said the sense has remained closer to pledge in other Germanic languages such as German, wet, a bet, wager, development to marry is unique in English. Originally make a woman's one wife by giving a pledge or earnest money. Earnest money or bride price or dowry. Originally make a woman's one wife by giving a pledge or earnest money. So, and passively of 2 people to be joined as husband and wife from the 12th century or 12th century, which would be 12th to 13th century, around that time. Wedding, but wedlock. Guess what, brothers and sisters? Something can unlock that bond. Once you get married, you say I do, she say I do, y'all promise this, you promise that, different people have different vows, the contract between you is locked. But something can unlock it. Exodus 20:14. This is the commandment right here. You shall not commit adultery. Pause. Nothing else after that. It goes on. Right after that, it goes on to the next commandment. It just says, you shall not commit adultery. What the world is that? Then he go on to what? Don't steal. Wait a minute, what are the That's why I told you it's a table of contents. The rest of it is explained in the law. But you can also see it in Deuteronomy 5:18. Now up until this point, the commandments were exactly the same, except in Deuteronomy. And Deuteronomy just simply means second law. This is when they were going to the land of Canaan to go. They got into the land. These are that they had to read the commandments again to remind you. This is the covenant. These are the rules before we get up in here. But this one, the one back in Exodus says, you shall not commit adultery. This one said, neither shall you what? Commit adultery. Don't do it. What is it? Well, adultery, all sexual sin and spiritual sin. That's what adultery is. I'm going to show you. No, that spiritual sin, brother. Yes. Adultery is physical and spiritual. I got to say that to you again. Fornication, the word fornication is like a catch-all word for all sexual sin. It's a catch-all word. Like what? Bestiality. Do you know bestiality is not in the New Testament? That's not in the New Testament. Where we find that at? We find that in the Old Testament. But it's adultery. That's what it is. Rape. That ain't in the New Testament nowhere. You can't find it in there. You can't. Where my Bible at? Right here. A lot of people shocked to hear that. That's not it. You can't shake rape out of the New Testament. It ain't in there. It's nowhere in there. Homosexuality, it is, but it's fornication. Right? Sleeping with your wife on her menstrual cycle. That's fornication. People don't know that. That's fornication. That's a sexual sin. But guess what? That ain't in the New Testament either. Although it's hinted at when Mary, when she came out for purification, which was when she had a baby, though. But the menstrual cycle, that ain't in the New Testament. Don't sleep with your wife on a menstrual cycle. That ain't in there. That all falls under the adultery category. But fornication is a catch-all word. And a lot of times in more modern translation, you don't say fornication. It would just say sexual immorality. Right? But let's look at this word adultery right here. This is when we see it in the Old Testament, the word is naphtha. Let's see what it says. It says adultery, adulterer. Oh, no problem. Gotta warn you. But adultery, what is that word is? Na'af. It said adultery, adulterer, adulteress, women that break wedlock. You see how they try? They're just women. And we're going to show you a man can be an adulterer too. It says to commit adultery. It says to commit adultery, usually of man, always with wife of another. Is it? Okay. It said adultery of women, idolatrous worship. But you see it. But we're going to break, I like to break it all down. The word adultery is mentioned in some kind of form, is mentioned 69 total times in the whole Bible. Adultery. It says adultery 40 times in the Bible, 17 times in the Old Testament, 23 times in the New Testament. Adulterer, 3 times in the Old Testament. 0 times, 3 times in the Old Testament, 0 times in the New Testament. I think that's a mistake right there. But it says adulterers 9 times, 5 times in the Old Testament, and 4 times in the New Testament. It says adulteress 5 times, 3 times in the Old Testament, 2 times in the New Testament. Adulteresses 3 times. In the 3 times, 2 times in the Old Testament, 1 time in the New Testament. Adulteries, 5 times, 3 times in the Old Testament, 2 times in the New Testament. Adulteress, 1 time is 4 times, but 1 time in the Old Testament, 3 times in the New Testament. Brother Randy, how you know all that? Well, you get you one of these. This is a Strong's exhaustive concordance. You need to get you one of these. Get you one of these, not only for the what they call the 66 books of the Bible. You ought to get you one for the Apocrypha as well. You got to get you one. These are Bibles. Man, it ain't no reason for us to be ignorant today concerning anything that the Most High Word have for us. We got the internet. We got all kind of Bible translation, Bible dictionaries. You need to get one. Get busy. Get to studying. Turn that PlayStation off sometimes. Turn that mess off. And get yourself in the word. Fornication, because I told you that's the catch-all word. Fornication is mentioned 36 times. 36 times in the we can to save time. You know, it's just mentioned in there. All right, just save time. All right, but dictionary.com. What is adultery? What is it? It says voluntary sexual intercourse between a married person and a person who is not his or her spouse. She was committing, it gives an example, she was committing adultery with a much younger man. Similar. Unfaithfulness. It says infidelity, falseness, disloyalty, unchastity, cuckoldry. Well, I don't know what that means. Extramarital sex, extramarital relation. You learn some new words every day. So what? Affair, liaison, intrigue, amour, like love, amour, mi amor, my chérie amour. Entanglement, Will and Jada, they know all about that. Flirtation, cheating, two-timing, fooling around, playing the field, player. We're gonna show men that when a man sleep around, whether married or unmarried, we're gonna show you what you are. It says playing the field, player. When a man sleep around, yeah, that's my boy. No, you whoremonger, you dog. That's what you are. Carrying on, hanky panky, a bit on the side, huh? What the world? Oh, I get it now. It just can't. Somebody on the side, like a side piece. I get it now. It's a fornication. But what would the opposite be? Faithfulness, fidelity, meaning you're not messing around. But what this is, you can go to dictionary.com too. It said, what's the difference between adultery and fornication? In case you were wondering, the word adultery and adult are not etymologically related. In other words, adultery didn't grow out of the word adult in the way that punditry grew out of pundit. Punditry grew out of pundit. Although words come from the Latin and share the same first 5 letters, adultery is from adulterare, which means to what? To pollute. It says defile, commit adultery. A word formed ultimately by the Latin elements add to near and what? Alter. Not alter or other. English adult comes from adultus, which is the past participle of the Latin word adolescere, to grow up. But in a legal use, there is a difference between adultery and fornication. They say adultery is only used when at least one of the parties involved, either male or female, is married, whereas fornication may be used to describe 2 people who are unmarried to each other or anyone else engaging in consensual sexual intercourse. And that's a more modern way to look at it. We're gonna show you fornication in the Bible. But let's look up the etymology of adultery: voluntary violation of the marriage bed. It says from the 13th century, adultery from Old French, later adultery. It's a noun of condition of adultery from the Latin adulterare, commit adultery, corrupt. Keep on going. It said compare adulteration. Adulteration? The spelling was corrected towards Latin from early 15th century. Just bear with me with these definitions. We got to show you what this is, because in the Bible it just said, thou shalt not commit adultery. In English, following French. In Middle English, also sex between husband and wife for recreational purposes. It says sex between husband and wife for recreational purposes. Idolatry. They know about that. But look, in the Old English word, it said breach of lawful marriage. It's a breach. That marriage has been unlocked. But you can see all of this adulterous, which is illicit, what's the name? But I want to go all the way to the bottom. When we go to the middle, it said adulterer. It says commit adultery, adulterate, make impure, pollute. Pay attention to this stuff today. The earlier form in Middle English was adulterer, which we already saw. It said person, usually a man, guilty of adultery. So a man can commit adultery too when he sleep with somebody else's wife. But watch this. Down at the bottom, adulterate. Debase by mixing. That's what adultery, you mix something with your marriage. Debase. It said to debase. By mixing with foreign or inferior material, make corrupt. And you keep on saying, why does it keep on saying to commit adultery? When you commit adultery, you have mixed something with your marriage. We're going to show you that today. But one more definition, adulterate from dictionary.com. What does it say? To make impure, degrade, debase, spoil, taint, defile, contaminate, pollute, to foul, sully, doctor, tamper with, mix, lace. That you shouldn't be lacing, mixing, tampering, contaminating your marriage with nothing. It says lace, dilute, water down, thin out, weaken, bastardize, corrupt, cut, spike, dope, violate, refine. The opposite would be to refine. But in the Bible, when you see fornication, we're gonna show you what it would show you, because I told you that fornication falls under adultery. It does. So in 2 Chronicles 21:11, it says, moreover, he made the high places in the mountains of Judah. In the mountains of Judah, I think this was Jehoram. Moreover, he made high, his father died, and now he in charge, but he made high places in the mountains of Judah and caused the inhabitants of Jerusalem to commit fornication and compelled Judah thereto. But that word fornication, that word is zanal. It says zanal. It means harlot, go a-whoring, whoredom, whore. See, these are not words you want your children knowing right now. What's a whore? Be quiet. Go in there and eat some cereal. Commit fornication, whorish, harlot. We see you. Brittany. Thank you for coming on in today. It says whoredom, whore, commit adultery, whorish, harlot. It said commit continually great whores. To commit fornication, be a harlot, play the harlot. To be a harlot. To commit adultery. It said to commit adultery. That's my point proven. Now, Brother Ronnie, that's just a strong. I know you can't take every strong definition at face value. You gotta compare it with the scripts. So that's what we're gonna do today. Skip down to the it says to be unfaithful to the Most High, to be a cult prostitute, to play the harlot, to cause to commit adultery. To force into prostitution. Pimps, you going to hell if you keep on doing that, putting women in that stuff. What they call it, human traffickers, you going to hell if you don't stop. But down at the bottom, it says in the green, rarely of involuntary ravishment, figuratively to commit idolatry. The Jewish people being regarded as the spouse of Jehovah. When you're in fornication, you are committing adultery against the Most High. You in two covenants. Believers, you in two covenants. You in the covenant with the Most High, and you are in a covenant with your spouse. The Most High don't want his covenant, tainted, and most definitely a husband and wife, they shouldn't want their covenant tainted. But that's one word for so we'll show it to you in Ezekiel 26. Thou hast, it's still the same words, I don't know. It said, thou hast also committed fornication with the Egyptian, harlotry. Brother Run, you can't change it to harlotry. More modern definition says it's harlotry. The behind the definition, all of the same. We see it. Harlotry, whoredoms. Here's another word, which is in Ezekiel chapter 20, the same word, whoredoms. It is tazuth or tazunuth. Fornication, harlotry. Verse 29, same word right there. So you see fornication in Ezekiel chapter 16. They all mean the same thing, right? But let's keep it pushing, because in the Bible there are several places that also define sexual conduct, like in Leviticus chapter 18, chapter 20, just different places all throughout. But let's look at this one, Leviticus 20 and 10. And the man that committed adultery with another man's wife, even he that committed adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. The penalty is death. That's how serious adultery is. And with adultery comes fornication. That's a catch-all phrase. I'm gonna tell you. But Matthew 5, 27 through 30. We're gonna go to Yeshua. What he got to say about adultery? What does he have to say about that? What does he have to say about it? Lust. There's a lot of people. That's what this whole world about. We saw last week that about the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. When we showed you all that. That's what made David do what he did with Bathsheba, and had something to do with Uriah being murdered. But Yeshua, what you say? He said, you have heard it said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery. That's all it said. Thou shalt not commit. Yeshua said, let me level it up. Let me explain it to you like Brother Ronnie gonna explain it to you today. But he said, but I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman and to lust after her have committed adultery with her already in his heart. And if thy right eye offend thee, you got a lust problem. He ain't saying literally pluck your eye out. What he's saying is do whatever you got to do to keep from letting that eye cause you to do that. By what? You got a porn problem, you might have to throw that computer out. Put some locks and stuff on your computer where you can't get to stuff. He's saying, and if you got a problem, get with some more brothers that you can be accountable to, or you can talk to them like, hey man, hey, I'm weak. Setting up perimeter. Don't go pluck your eye out. This is what is called hyperbole. Going to the extreme to make a point. But it says, and if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, than thy whole body should be cast into hell. And if thy right eye offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. But we're going to look at that word. He said, when you look on a woman and adultery, let's look at it. That word woman is gune. Gune. It says, a woman of any age, whether a virgin or married or a widow. Or it says a wife of a betrothed woman. It says gune, probably from the base Greek 1096, a woman, especially a wife. Now, if you are a single man and you see a woman and that later that woman become your wife, was that a sin to look at her? Who, man, she look good. No, we talk this. Yeshua talking about married people right here. That's what he's talking about. A married man looking at another man's wife like, my goodness. No, you shouldn't be doing that, brother. But the word adultery, that word is mokiao. It says to commit adultery, to commit adultery, to have unlawful intercourse with another's wife. Whoa. To have, so is there a lawful way intercourse with somebody else's wife? I don't know. We gonna see. It says of the wife to suffer adultery, to what? Be divided. A Hebrew idiom. The word is used of those who at a woman's solicitation are drawn away to idolatry, i.e. eating things sacrificed to idols. Mama J. Pope, that's what Romans chapter 14 is all about. That's what 1 Corinthians chapter 8 is all about. That's what 1 Corinthians chapter 10 is all about. You had a question about that last week. That's what it's all about. But we come in 2,000 years later and we say, oh, look at that. That's it. They're not talking about clean and unclean foods. They ain't talking about no pig, shrimp, catfish, and lobster. They talking about clean animals being offered up to idols. Is it okay to eat it? I'm trying to tell you. But it says that this word adultery is from the Greek 34:32. Anytime you see it said from something, go look at it. And that word is an mokios. The other one was mokiao. That's for the female. This one is a mokios for the male. It says an adulterer. Metaphor, one who is faithless towards Yah. If you're not keeping the faith, you are an adulterer. It said perhaps a primary word, a male paramour. That's a gigolo. Dude, they're just going around just sleeping with people. A paramour, figuratively, apostate, adulterer. Apostate means you just wandered from the truth. You do whatever you want. The Most High look at it both the same. If you are an adulterer physically and you're an adulterer spiritually, they the same thing in his eyes. But what we're gonna do is, but what Yeshua said, he said, if he look at a woman and lust after her in his heart, he lust after her, he already committed adultery with her in his heart. We're going to show you that. We're going to go to a place that we normally don't go to. You can go in the Apocrypha. We're going to go to Susanna, chapter 1. Oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me. I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Not that Susanna. And this is Susanna. This was a song, depending on what source you go to. It's like the 13th chapter. It would be the 13th chapter of Daniel. It goes right with Daniel because Daniel is in it as well. Go and check that out, depending on whether you read the Septuagint or the Latin Vulgate. And some of them have a way of standing alone on its own, but you can tell that it is related to Daniel. But anyway, let's go ahead. It said there dwelt a man in Babylon called Joachim, and he took a wife whose name was Susanna. And it said, the daughter of Chelseus, a very fair woman and one that feared the Most High. Feared the Most High. Well, what that mean? He's going to tell you in verse 3. Her parents were also righteous and taught their daughter according to the law of Moses. They in Babylonian captivity and they still teaching the law of Moses because that's what you do. That's what you teach your children. Now Joachim was a great rich man and had a fair garden. He had a fair garden joining unto his house, and to him we got a fair garden right out there. My wife do all that. Boy, that's some work. And I was back there this week, day before yesterday, out there cutting the grass. Woo, my goodness! I was out there 3-4 hours. I did the front and backyard. Oh, I was out there a long time. I was so tired. But it says, but now Joachim was a great rich man and had a fair garden joining unto his house, and to him resorted the Jews because he was more honorable than all others. The same year were appointed two of the ancients of the people to be judges, such as the Most High spake of. That wickedness came from Babylon from ancient judge who seemed to govern the people. These kept much at Joachim's house. These two new judges appointed. They're they're at Joachim. They is always at Joachim's house. Brothers, be careful who you got at your house all the time. You don't know what they doing. These kept much at Joachim's house, and all that had any suits in law came unto them. Why? Because they were judges. Now, when the people departed away at noon, Susanna went into her husband's garden to walk. And the two elders, these judges, saw her going in every day, watching her. They saw. What Yeshua would say, the eye. He said, he did look. He said, pluck that right eye out. They didn't do this. Pluck it out. He said, the two elders saw her going in every day and walking, so that their lust was inflamed towards her. And they perverted their own mind and turned their eyes, that they might not look unto heaven nor remember just judgments. It will corrupt you. And albeit they both were wounded with her love, yet durst not one show another his grief. They ain't say nothing about it. It's burning on them on the inside. For they were ashamed to declare their lust. You should be ashamed of yourself looking at somebody else's wife that they desire to have to do with her. Yet they watched diligent from day to day, every day, to see her. And one said to another, let us now go home, for it is dinner time. When they were gone out, they parted the one from the other, and turning back again, they came to the same place. And after that, they had asked one another the cause. What you doing here? Then you go home and eat. What you doing here? So then it finally come out. They both acknowledged their lust. Then appointed they a time both together when they might find her alone. And it fell out as they watched a fit time. She went in as before with that 2 days only, and she was desirous to wash herself in the garden because it's hot outside. Get out there in the Fertile Crescent. It's hot. And there was nobody there save 2 elders that had hid themselves and watched her. Then she said to her maids, bring me oil and washing balls, and shut the garden doors that I may wash me. And they did as she bade them, and shut the garden door, and went out themselves at privy doors to fetch the things that she had commanded them. But they saw not the elders, because they were hid, hiding themselves, looking. That's called being a voyeur. Now, when the maids were gone forth, the 2 elders rose up and ran unto her, saying, behold, the garden doors are shut, that no man can see us, and we are in love with thee. Therefore consent unto us and lie with us. Us? It's 2 of y'all, fool. That would be wrong anyway. Plus, I'm married. If thou wilt not, we will bear witness. If you won't do it, we will bear witness against thee. That's coming in the not next week class, but the class after. We're not gonna even read all of Susanna this week. We're gonna on the week after next, we're gonna bring it back, we're gonna bring her back up. But it said, if you won't now, we're gonna bear false witness against thee, that a young man was with thee, and therefore thou didst send away thy maids from thee. Then Susanna sighed and said, I am straitened on every side. I'm in trouble. For if I do this thing, is death to me. Why? Because the adulterer and the adulteress will be put to death. And if I do it not, I cannot escape your hands. It is better for me to fall into your hands and not do it than to sin in the sight of the Most High. With that, Susanna cried. She following Deuteronomy chapter 22. You know, if a young maiden, she gonna cry, ah! She gonna holler, ah, they raping me. Then Susanna sighed and said, I am straitened on every side. For if I do this thing, it is death unto me. And if I do it not, I cannot escape your hands. It is better for me to fall into your hands and not do it than to sin in the sight of the Most High. With that, Susanna cried with a loud voice, and the two elders cried out against her. Then ran the one and opened the garden door. And to be continued. But these guys, they lusted with their eyes day after day, and it led them, they committed adultery in their heart, but then it led them to they tried to actually carry it out. Trying to, man. But let's keep on. We got what the Most High, what Yeshua say about adultery. Now we continue on from verse 30 to verse 31. Matthew 5, 31 through 32. It hath been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement. When you put your wife away, you give her a writing of divorcement. But I say to you that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of what? Fornication. Causing her to commit adultery, and whosoever marry her that is divorced, what did he do? That is divorced, commit adultery. Now it's put away at the top, but it's divorced down here. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're going to explain that in just a second. But the thing is, there is one thing that can unlock a marriage. They can unlock wedlock, and that what is fornication, and that what Yeshua just said. He said, whosoever shall send his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causing her to commit adultery. Why? Because when she gone out, the only thing back then, women couldn't just have jobs like how we have today. You go fill out an application and you got a job. Women usually stayed around the house, But anyway, fornication / adultery can unlock a wedding. I mean, not a wedding, a marriage, the marriage bond, the one flesh equation, adultery, mixing something. Let's look at the word of fornication. It says fornication. It said illicit sexual intercourse, adultery, fornication, I told you fornication is a catch-all. Is a what? Is a catch-all phrase for all sexual sin, and they all fall under adultery, right? But adultery, fornication, lesbianism, intercourse with animals, that ain't in the New Testament nowhere. It says sexual intercourses with close relatives. So you can see that in Leviticus chapter 18. I told you that. It says sexual intercourse with a divorced man or woman. That's what Brother Runny got to push back. It should be, if anything, it's an unlawfully divorced man or woman. Yeah, you can be lawfully divorced and you can be unlawfully divorced. But even so, you got to find that in the Old Testament somewhere. You can't find that a man that gets with a divorced woman that's fornication. It's not nowhere. That's why I got to push back and I got to show you what it is. That means it's got to be some kind of mistranslation somewhere. It says, of the defilement of idolatry. It said to worship idols, of the defilement of idolatry. That's fornication? Yes. You can't mix stuff in your marriage. Look down at the bottom. It says harlotry, including adultery and incest, figuratively idolatry, fornication. So is there, Brother Runner, you just said that yeah. So is there a law in the Bible concerning divorce? Yes, it is. Deuteronomy, man, it's so many. We had a member send me some, Levi's daughter of Sarah. She sent me something where it was some mistakes in the Bible where it said one person here, and then it said a different place here, but it's talking about the same thing. It said, is it a Bible contradiction? I said, no, that's just a mistranslation. Scribes make mistake, especially English scribes. She said, "Oh yeah, I thought so. I thought so. I thought that too." But these are some Muslim people. See, your Bible has mistakes all in it. No, they just mistranslated something. That's all. You go back and look at the Hebrew and you clear it up. That's all. But it says Deuteronomy 24, 1 through 4. When a man have taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he have found some uncleanness. This is important. You need to know this. You might be divorced. You might be divorced. You didn't know. Am I going to... Let's read it out. It said, because he have found some uncleanness in her. So first, he got to what? Find some uncleanness. That's step number one. What's step number two? Write her a bill of divorcement. That's number two. What's number three? Give it in her hand. That's number three. What's number four? Then you send her out of the house. You cannot skip any of them first three steps. If you skip any of them first three steps, but you only do the last step, you're not doing it how the Bible tells you to do it. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. When you follow them 4 steps, that is the lawful way to be able to have. Remember, I asked the question. It said to unlawfully have sex with a divorced man or woman. So let's go back to it. It says, no, that ain't the one. This is the one right here. It says, letter B on the right, to commit adultery, have unlawful intercourse with another's wife. Well, if you do this, it's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong. Watch this. It says, and if the latter, watch this, and she has departed his house, she may. She can't. She may go and be another man's wife. There is no fornication involved right there. And so Strong's, I disagree with you right there. I agree with most of 98% of what you have, because I don't agree with all Strong's definitions. But she may. And if the latter husband hate her and write her, so if the second husband hate her and write her a bill of divorcement and giveth it in her hand and send her out of his house, or if the latter husband died, which took her to be his wife, her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife. After that, she is defiled. Remember we said polluted? Remember we see defiled? For it is an abomination, therefore, before the Most High. And thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which the Most High thy Elohim giveth thee for an inheritance. Them are the qualifications. Now, when we get to these Pharisees in the New Testament, it's something that they were trying to do. This is the reason. You got to find some uncleanness, write her a bill of divorcement. In history, what these men were doing, a lot of them were just sending their wives away. They weren't giving them nothing. But again, these are the steps. Find the uncleanness, write the bill, put it in her hand, send her away. Now, I told you that in the Hebrew, Greek terms for putting away, these are the terms. In the Old Testament, it's shalak. It means to send away. In the Old Testament, carry through the word send away. Put away in the Old Testament is shalak. Divorce in the Old Testament is carry through. Karak, to cut. Garage, drive out. See, what they want to do, they want to garage. They want to garage, just drive somebody out without giving them paper. Apalu in the Greek is put away, is apalu. Divorce is aspostasian. Feme is put away. Chorizo means to depart. Now, if the word divorce in Matthew chapter 5, verse 31 is properly translated, then Moses, Yeshua, and Paul, they will be saying the same thing. But what's this uncleanness we got to see? What's this uncleanness? And then we're going to look at, because I don't want to spend all day on this, but we got to be biblically sound. What we talking about? We're talking about adultery. There's people out here, they want to know, am I in this? But that word, you got to find the uncleanness. That word is erva. It says nakedness. Nakedness. Said shame, unclean, uncleanness, nakedness, nudity, pudenda, implying shameful exposure. She done did something that she should not have done that will make her husband look bad. And he like, man, I ain't know that. She did, man, I can't be with her. Nakedness of a thing, indecency, improper behavior, us exposed. This is what it has to be. Not you can just, I don't like her no more. No, that's not lawful. You can't do that. I don't like her no more. We grew apart. Did she cheat on you? No. Did she disrespect you? Just buck your law all the time? No. Well, what's the problem? Did she got an altar of Satan in y'all house somewhere where she putting blood on it? Well, no. Then what's the problem, brother? We're gonna deal with all that. We're gonna deal with all that, Sister Sheila. Did she do all this? No. Well, you can't divorce her, stupid. But Sefer, that's the bill. That's the bill. The book, letter, evidence, bill, learning, register, learned, book, missive, document, writing, book. It said legal document, certificate of divorce, deed of purchase. It's a legal document. It's proof. When a woman left a man, when she was put away by a man, she had to have that proof. That proof made it okay for her to marry that man. To marry the other man. Now, if she divorced the other man, if she divorced the other man, women couldn't divorce women at all, period. They couldn't do it. They were not allowed in Hebrew. They couldn't do it. It wasn't no woman giving no husband no bill or nothing. and today in society, we have women kicking men out the house. What they do that at in the Bible? Women couldn't put that, but that if she married another person and then they divorced, she could no longer go back to the first husband. So people teaching all that mess today, you got to go back. No, according to the scriptures, you're defiled. You can't do that. You got to find somebody new. So if she go marry a third man, she divorced him, she can't go back. She can't go back to the first or the second man. Can't go back to neither one of them. You feel me? All right, let's keep like the woman at the well. Yeshua said, call your husband. Go call him. Tell him to come here. She said, I have no husband. He said, you have answered right. You have no husband, for you have had 5 husbands. And the one who you with now, she probably just cohabitating with him, just being a concubine with him. Let's keep it pushing. Carry through. That's just, that's the definition for the divorce. Now, and that's not the word that was not the word that was used in you can look at all that on your own. So they say Yah hates divorce. He do? Okay. No, he hated what? Putting away. That's what we don't read all that. He hated for just sending somebody away for no reason at all. Just you get out of here, no bill, no nothing, no protection, no nothing for that woman. Or she got to go out there and be a harlot now. But shalak, that means that the word shalak, put away in the Old Testament, it just means to send away. It don't mean to divorce. It just means to send away. But is divorce a sin? It depends. If it is, then Yah is a sinner. But we know he's not no sinner. He put away his wife. But why? Let's see. Jeremiah 3:6-8. And the Most High said also unto me in the days of Josiah the king, hast thou seen which backsliding Israel has done? She is gone up upon every high mountain and under every green tree, and there have played the harlot, fornication. And I have said, she had done all these things, turn thou unto me, but she returned not. And her treacherous sister Judah, that's his second, he used it like a, what's the best way to say an analogy, kind of. He likened his relationship with Israel, because he allowed polygyny back then. He allowed it. Bible still doesn't condemn it. Go watch our polygyny class. Go watch polygamy class. I'm not teaching against that. That's just not his best. Yeah, I asked, brother, running what? Polygyny in the New Testament? Yeah, you can go read in Timothy. Well, what Paul said, if a man desired to be a bishop or an overseer, he must be the husband of one wife. Let you know what? They still had the deacon. You skip down the deacon too. The deacon, he want to be a deacon in the church. He got to be the husband of one wife. Didn't say you had to be the husband of one wife to be in the assembly. It didn't say that. It said if you want to be a leader. Why? Because we want to show everybody this is the standard. This should be the standard. But it says, and the Most High said unto me in the days of Josiah, he said, back, what she do? Verse 7. And I said, after she had done all these things, turn thou unto me. He giving her, just because they do it, you give them a chance. Turn back to me. But she turned not, and her treacherous sister Judah saw it, and I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery. Now he just said she did harlotry, but now he calling it adultery. That's adultery is what it's called, and fornication falls under that. But he said, for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, and what he said, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. This is what he did. If you're gonna divorce, you gotta do it how the Most High do it. You can't do it how you want to do it. What uncleanness did he find? Harlotry, whoredoms, fornication, adultery. That's what he found. He said, okay. And what he do? Write the bill, he put it in her hand, and he sent her out. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also. He got two of them acting up. And it came to pass through the likeness of her whoredom that she defiled the land and committed adultery with the stones and stocks. Got a Christmas tree in your house? That's a stock. You got idols? That's stone or whatever, wood, whatever you want, whatever it's made out of. And yet for all this, her treacherous sister Judah have not returned unto me with her whole heart, but feignedly. So you see it. So that's the way you got to do it. These are the bill of divorcement. In the Old Testament, it's Sefer. In the New, in the Old Testament, it's Sefer, and the bill means bill, and in divorcement is carry through in the Hebrew. Let's go to Hosea real quick. Hosea, tell us. He said, say ye unto, Most High said, say you unto my brethren, me, which means my people, and to your sister, Rumah, mercy is shown. Plead with your mother. They're talking to Israel. For she is not my wife, neither am I her husband. Let her therefore put away her. He got rid of her. Isaiah 50:1. Thus said the Most High, where is the bill of your mother's divorcement, whom you see it? So no, it's not a sin. Sometimes it's necessary to what? Put the whoredom away from you. Most High, he can't be associated with that. So let's go back. Matthew 5:31-32. It have been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement. But I say, whoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causing her to commit adultery, and whosoever shall marry her that is divorced. Now it says put away in verse 32, earlier in verse 32, but later in verse 32, it says divorce. They the same word, apalu, not apostation, which is the word for divorce in the Greek. It's not there. Let's go to the Peshitta. I know y'all don't read Aramaic, so this is GotQuestions.org. We're not going to read. You can pause it on your own, letting you know these are valid. This is from GotQuestions.org. When I read some of the Peshitta is a collection of Aramaic manuscripts of the Bible. Aramaic was the most common shared language among people of the Near East and Middle East for many centuries. So this ain't nothing but this scriptures. So we're going to go to the Hebraic Roots Version Scripture Revised Edition containing the Tanakh and the Ketuvim and the Nezirim, the law, the writings, and the books of wisdom. That's what the Tanakh is. It said, it is now same verses that Yeshua did. This is it in the Aramaic. It said it is also said concerning him that would put away his wife that he should write her a bill of divorcement and give it to her and send her away from the house. But I tell you that whosoever shall put away his wife except for the cause of fornication commits adultery with her, and whosoever takes her that is cast off commits adultery. Let's look at that in the Aramaic Peshitta. It says the same thing, but it says he and whoever takes her that is undivorced. You got to do it right. You got to do it right. You can't just do. And matter of fact, the only reason that you can divorce is because of this fornication. Well, Brother Ronnie, I'm divorced and there wasn't no adultery committed. Did they worship other gods? Yeah. Fornication. Matter of fact, in the scripts, I didn't put it in here, but you can see this in the divorce, marriage, remarriage class. A woman that's married to a man, if he don't provide raiment, clothing, and everything for her, conjugal rights, she free to go. Bible says she owes nothing. Meaning, brother, you ain't doing anything, and hand me my bride price back right now, brother. She free to go. She owes nothing. Matter of fact, let's pull that up. I just can't tell you that. I gotta show you that. Here you go. It says, if he takes another wife, he shall not diminish her food, her clothing, and her marriage rights. And these rights right here is what they do for daughters of Israel. But he says, he must not diminish her food, her clothing, and her marriage right. That's conjugal rights. And if he does not these three for her, he got to do all three. He can't do two of the three, one of the three. And then she shall go out free without paying money. She free to go. That's it. You marry somebody, and that's why Ezra told when they was going back into the land, Ezra said, nope, y'all got to put these pagan wives away. But when you get to Paul said, if she willing to live with you, go ahead and be with her. Go ahead and be with her because you might could win her. That's called binding and loosing. Paul was loosening it up. Maybe you can win them over to the Most High. But he said, but if they leave on their own, you ain't in bondage to such a one. Why? Because they are a fornicator anyway. I'm trying to tell y'all, learn these scripts, y'all. But that's the Greek word for apostasion, and that word is not used in Matthew 5:32. Had that been used, that is what it is. But apalu, that's the word that is used. It just simply means to send away. Let's look at it right here. Apalu in the Greek, that's the word that is used. Go all the way down. It says that's putting away. It's used of divorce. It's not divorce, it's used of divorce. Why? Because that's the last step of the divorce process. It says it's used of divorce, to dismiss from the house, to repudiate. The wife of a Greek or Roman may divorce their husband. See, Hebrews, they didn't divorce their husband and their wives. They did not. See, we Greeks today. We Greek all the way from these Omega Psi Phi. We just Greeks. Saw them at the little Juneteenth day. Ha, 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 ha. If that's you, that's you. Hey, that's you. Go watch that class. Another brother run. Well, I'm Brother Running, but another from Truth Unedited, his name Brother Run too. He just put out a little Greek life thing, a 2-part thing. I think he's gonna have more parts, but go watch it. Truth Unedited. That's some powerful stuff. I did one almost 2 years ago. Go watch this stuff, y'all. So we're gonna see this word apalu right here. That the same, it just means to sin. That's all it means. And when it was evening, his disciples came to him. This Yeshua. This is a desert place, and the time is now past. Send the multitude away, not divorce the multitude. It just means to send. Verse 16, but Yeshua said unto them, they need not depart. Send, depart. That's all it means. That's part of the process. It's a 4-step process. And straightway, you see it, he sent folks away. He ain't divorced nobody. But we coming up on where the miscommunication is, because we want to make sure people know if you're in adultery or not. Are you? I don't know your situation. Only you know. But you had two schools of thought, the Shammai and Hillel. The Most High said it gotta be some fornication, some kind of uncleanness, a nakedness of a thing. But you had two schools of thought. So Shammai, he said, an indecent matter, divorce for adultery only. I'm in his camp. It says, or Hillel, it says indecency or another matter. You see, Hillel taught if she burnt your breakfast, you can get rid of her. If you see a woman that look better than her, you can get rid of her. That's not right. Oh boy, Matthew 19. Let's look at it. I don't even want to read all this, but it says the Pharisees came unto him. This is what the whole thing is about. The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife, to send away his wife for every cause, for every reason? No, we just showed you the reason. Yeshua said, fornication. That's it. We don't even get into all of this. But he said, don't put asunder. The word asunder means to chorizo, to place room between, to separate. Look at it, chorizo. It says to separate, divide, put asunder. Because Yeshua said back here, what did he say? He said, for what God have joined together, let not man put asunder. Don't separate it. It says to separate, divide, part, put asunder, to separate oneself from, to depart, to leave a husband or wife. It says of divorce, of, not is divorce. Asundering, separate. That's one of the steps, folks. Fornication. He said, so that was that. But the definition is porneia. See a familiar word? Porn. You in porn, you a fornicator. I ain't messing with nobody. I ain't married. Ain't hurt nobody. The Most High seeing it. You married to, if you married to him too. But the word is porneia. So you can take letter C out of there. All right. But anyway, we don't spend all day on this, but you can see that's all about the divorce and everything. But what was the reason for the bill of divorce? We already showed you what was going on. This is the reason why these dudes were doing all this mess. You can go watch our marriage, divorce, and remarriage class that I did a couple of years ago. It got a lot of this stuff in there. But okay, I'm glad your question answered, Sister Sheila. But Deuteronomy 22, 13 through 22. If a man take a wife and go into her and hate her, we don't see what these dudes were doing, and give occasional speech against her and bring up an evil name upon her and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid. She wasn't a virgin when we got married. Then shall the damsel, the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. And the damsel father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hated her. But what are the tokens of the damsel's virginity? You're not going to see it in the Bible, but when you can see it in the tradition, it was a blood-stained sheet. A sheet that had the blood on it from when they consummated the marriage. And so he said, she wasn't no virgin, she wasn't a maid when I got with her. I paid virgin prices. I expected a virgin. What? Sometimes women hymens is burst when they're a child by accident. Come on, you dummy. No, the real issue that was going on was this dude just wanted another woman. That's all he wanted. That's what he wanted. Then the father shall take the toe, because you give the sheep to the father. That's his evidence. That's his evidence. You gave me money and I get bloodstained sheep. That's what it is. It says, and the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hate her. He don't want her no more. And lo, he have given occasional speech against her. He said she wasn't no virgin, giving a bad name on her. I found not that, and he said, I found not that daughter a maid, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity, and they shall spread the cloth before the elder. Spread the cloth, letting you know that the tokens is a cloth. Before, so if everybody see, oh yeah, that's blood, brother. There you go, right there. That's the sheet. Ain't that the sheet y'all was on that night? Yeah. And the elders of the city shall take that man and chastise him, whoop his behind. And they shall immerse him in 100 shekels. He got to pay 100 shekels of silver and give. They shall immerse him. They throw money at him. And man, throw quarters, nickels, dimes at him. And give them unto the father of the damsel, because he hath brought up a evil name upon a virgin of Israel, and she shall be his wife. He may not put her away all his days. Man accuse you of adultery before everybody lying on you, saying you did this, and then you really a virgin. Oh, he can't never divorce you. That's it. But if this thing be true, the tokens of virginity be not found for the damsel, then they shall bring out the damsel of the father's house, and the men of the city shall stone her with stones. Why the man getting off easy? Why he just getting hit with nickels and quarters, but she getting hit with rocks? He was wrong in his situation. She wrong in her situation. Why she ain't get? You see what I mean? Why she ain't getting hit with nickels and quarters, and then he just get the money, go back to her, and then she go back to her dad's house with a bad name? See, this is why the Most High had to introduce the bill of divorcement. The bill of divorcement, that token, the word token, it says, the word is Bethulim. It says collectively and abstractly virginity. By implication and concretely, the tokens of what? Virginity. So tokens, that's just what? Representation of evidence, proof, keepsake, record. That's what the bill of divorcement was, folks. It was representation, indication, evidence, proof that you're no longer married to this fella. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's evidence. So what is that? Proof, confirmation, verification, corroboration, affirmation, authentication. Proof. That's what it is. Evidence of, verify, confirm, prove. You have to, before you leave, when that man sent you out his house, he had to give you that paper that was the proof that you're no longer in a contract with him. Proof. Same thing. They all mean the same thing. So token, evidence, proof, they all mean the same thing. Gotquestions.org. How accurate was the virginity test? It just said it was just proof. You can read that on your own. Same thing. See, now a good man would do like Joseph was going to do. Now, the birth of Yeshua HaMashiach was on this wise. When his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph, before they came together, she was found with child of the Holy Ghost, the Ruach. Then Joseph, her husband, being a just man and not willing to make her a public example, was minded to, he was going to do it privately. Just send her away. He was just going to send her. They were married, but they never consummated, but she come up pregnant. He was just going to send her away. Get out of here. Because if she cheated, if he could have made a public example of her, have her put to death. But what he was going to do was put her away like a good man supposed to do. Give her the bill. You going to get up out of here. He was a just man. Let's go to 1 Corinthians. Oh, boy. Because I don't even want to read all this. But this is Paul right here. We got to read it because it proves the point. Paul said, I therefore say to the unmarried and the widow, it is good for them if they abide. Paul saying, none of y'all don't need a marriage problem. Just stay single. I tell you, From now on, I ain't marrying nobody until I said, man, they gonna have to go through a 3 year a 3 year course before I marry anybody. People just, boy, people don't take it serious as they need to these days. It says, I say therefore to the unmarried and the widows, it is good for them they abide even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry. For it is better to marry than to burn. And unto the married I command, he said, yet not I, but the Lord, let not the wife depart from her husband. You can't leave, not divorce, because Hebrew women, they couldn't divorce their husband. She can't leave. And if she depart, let her remain unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband, and let not the husband put his wife away. But to the rest I speak. He said, don't do it. Best thing is get together, stay together, reconcile. Why he said let her remain unmarried? Why? Because if she get married, guess what? She can't go back to him. That's the law. But the word is charizo, which is just separation. That's all. Not divorce, of divorce, right? But I'm going to keep, all right, almost done with this. I really hate dealing with this, but it's in the scripts. It's dealing with adultery. I got to do it. I did a whole class on this. But 1 Corinthians 7:26-28, I suppose, therefore, that this is good for the present distress. I say that it is good for a man so to be. He said, are you bound to a wife? You married to a wife? Don't seek to be loose. Stop trying to get, everybody always trying to get divorced. There's only one reason. One reason. Adultery, fornication. Art thou bound to a wife? Seek not to be loosed. Are you loosed from a wife? Seek not a wife. Stop. Cut it out. He said, but if you do marry, you have not sinned. And if a virgin marry, she have not sinned. A loosed person, he said, a loosed person, you just like if you a virgin had married. You ain't in no sin. But he said, nevertheless, such have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you. He said, you want to get married anyway, you're going to have trouble in the flesh, right? But anyway, but the word bound means to be bound to one, a wife or husband. The word loosed is ayo. It says ayo, which means of a husband and wife joined together by the bond of matrimony, of a single man, whether he has already had a wife or has not yet married. Same thing. But the thing is, we want to play. Okay, you want to play? You say you know where I stay? Well, come today. This little yo Gotti, y'all don't know about that back in the day. But anyway, Exodus 1-7. A husband has the right, if his wife commits adultery, fornication, whatever it may be, to get her up out of there. To get her up out of there. All right. And it's saying, when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down from the mount, the people gathered themselves. This is Exodus 32:1-7. It says, and when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said to him, up, make us gods. Here comes the fornication. Here comes the adultery, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that thou brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not. We don't know what happened to him. We don't know what has become of him. And Aaron said to them, break off the golden earrings, which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them to me. And all the people break off the golden earrings which were in their ears and brought them to Aaron. And what he do? He received them at their hand and fashioned it with a graving tool after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, these be the gods, O Israel, which by mixing, adulterating, polluting, defiling. You can't mix. You celebrating Christmas, you can't mix the worship of Yeshua with Nimrod. You can't mix them. You can't mix it, Saturnalia, infusing with your celebration, worshiping who you say, you saying, we did G the birthday. Oh, well, now they had an officiant, like Adam and Eve. Their officiant was the Most High. They had ceremonies and parties and all that stuff where they did it before people, They had that, and we have passed 666 this week too, y'all. We was at 666 subscribers. Some dude thought he was funny. Ha ha ha. LF whatever, laughing my blank blank off. Y'all got 666 subscribers. You got it was 666. I said everybody that's over that then passed over 666 subscribers. Everybody had 666 at one time, brother. Just idiots out there, man. Idiotes. But anyway, we had 668. Appreciate that, y'all. Hit that like button. I don't know. That she said it the golden calf is. I don't know. It says, and Aaron said unto them, break off the golden earrings, break them out. They said, these be you can't mix it. That's adultery. That's fornication. Verse 5. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made proclamation and said, tomorrow is a feast, merging the worship of that idol with the feast of the Most High. And they rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings, and the people sat down to eat and to drink. Eating and drinking, that's what we do at these Christmas celebrations, Easter celebrations. And drink and rose up to playing little games with the cheering, laughing. The eggs, finding the eggs and everything. And the Most High said unto Moses, go get thee down, for thy people which thou hast brought us out of the land of Egypt have corrupted themselves. That's what adulterate means. Corrupt, defile, debase, sully, soil, mix, dilute. So this is how false worship is established. The false god, they use the Most High name with that false god. That's what they do. They have a feast day to the Most High with the false god. That's what they do. Saint, that's Sunday, Christmas, Easter. The Most High said, my day is the Sabbath. The devil cults, their day is Sunday. That's the day that they sell, that they have a rest day on. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 10. Paul know about this. He said, neither be idolaters, as were some of them. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. You know, like back here, it rose up to play. But let's look up the word play in the Hebrew. Laugh, mock, sport, play. They just having a good old time. Merriment. In the Greek, it's praiso. Same thing, singing, dancing. To play like a child. Let's go to Hosea. Chapter 2, verse 10 through 19. What the Most High said, he said, and now will I discover their lewdness in the sight of their lovers. Israel had lovers, and none shall deliver her out of mine hand. I will cause her mirth or her delight to cease, her feast day, her new moons, her Sabbaths, not his Sabbaths, because they had their own. They was using other gods. And I will destroy her vines and her fig trees, whereof she had said, these are my rewards that my lovers have given me. And I will make them a forest, a grove, Asheroth grove, and beasts of the field shall eat them. And I will visit upon her. See, most Sunday go, they don't know nothing about none of this stuff. They don't know this stuff. He said, and I will visit upon her the days of Baalim, where she burned incense to them. You know, the Baals. And she decked herself with her earrings and her jewels. Okay, more Israel. Charlie, he just texted me. He said he in class. All right, he just texted me. He said, I'm in class. All right, brother. It just came up on my iPad right there. Yeah, they ignorant. People just ignorant. The 666. It says, somebody give you $666 million. You go, oh, that's 666. I can't take it. Man, get out of here. Her Sabbath. They went the Most High Sabbaths. They were mixing. So he said, oh, that ain't what I told you to do. He said, therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her. I will give her vineyards from thence and from the valley of Achor for a door of hope, and she shall sing as in the days of her youth, and as in the day when she came out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be that it's gonna be whatever the wilderness is, it's just gonna be just like in the land of Egypt. Who led them in Egypt? Moses. So, but Yeshua gonna be the one. Don't know don't nothing wherever he take us. Don't know where go nowhere until he with us. He saying, "There shall be a day," said the Lord, "that thou shalt call me Ishi, my husband, and shall call me no Bali." Stop calling me that stuff. I'm gonna be your husband. But you can read the rest of that on your own. But that's the two word Bali and Bali and what's the other word? Ishi. But let's go. Warning against adultery, folks. It's warnings against this stuff. Listen to what Solomon says. My son, attend to my wisdom and bow thine ear to my understanding, that thou mayest regard discretion, that thy lips may know knowledge. For the lips of a strange woman, what do you mean a strange woman? This is right here. What is it? Strange woman. That word is zor. It says to be strange, be a stranger. It says to become a stranger, another stranger, foreigner, an enemy, loathsome, a strange woman, a prostitute or a harlot. Down at the bottom, it says to commit adultery. He said, for the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb. You know, the lips taste like honey. And her mouth smoother than oil. Got all the lip gloss on. But her end is bitter as wormwood. What's that? Hell. It says, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet goes down to death. Her steps take hold on hell. She will commit adultery will send you to hell. Verse 6, lest thou shouldst ponder the path of life, her ways are movable. You ponder the ways of life, folks, that thou cannot not know them. Hear me now, therefore, O children, and depart not from the words of my mouth. Remove thy way far from her, and come not nigh the door. Don't come near, don't even walk her way. You know, like them dudes. But see, Susanna, she wasn't, they were going to her house, but Susanna wasn't willing. They thought she might be willing. They thought she was gonna say, my husband, he ain't at home. He gone away. He on a long journey, which we're gonna read in a second. Lest thou give thine honor to others and thy years unto the cruel, lest strangers be filled with thy wealth. That's what adultery will send you. Israel found that out the hard way. And thy labors be in the house of a stranger. And thou mourn at the last when thy flesh and thy body are consumed. And they say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to them that instructed me. Yeah, it do. Potiphar's wife was Joseph, my husband ain't home. Joseph ran up out that coat. My daddy gave me this coat. I'm still running up out this coat. Whatever coat. It might not be in the coat of many colors. I don't know. You know, but he ran up out that coat. Get up at whatever coat he had on. Could have been them new clothes the king gave him. It said, in that gold chain and whatnot. He said, and thou mourn at the last when thy flesh and thy body are consumed. And it says, and have I hated, and say, how I have hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined to them that instructed me. I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation. But Solomon said, this was me. Solomon speaking from experience. He was with strange women, all them wives and concubines. Most High said, don't marry them, man. They're gonna turn you away from me. Solomon, what you say? Drink waters out of thy own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well. You got a wife, drink from her cistern. Don't go to another man's cistern. But avoid it at all costs, folks. Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of waters in the street. Let them be thine own, and not strangers with thee. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of your youth, not the wife of another man's youth. Let her be as the loving hind in the pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times. Your wife breast supposed to satisfy you at all times. Mm-hmm. And be thou ravished always with her love. And why wilt thou, my son, be ravished with a strange woman and embrace the bosom of a stranger? What you gonna do that for when he gave you somebody? But again, now we go to chapter 6. Let's see what he say in chapter 6. My son, keep thy father's commandment and forsake not the law of thy mother. Bind them continually upon your heart and tie them about thy neck. Tie them on your neck. It says, when thou goest, it shall lead thee. When thou sleepest, it shall keep thee. And when thou wakest, it shall talk with thee. Put that word in you every day. Put the PlayStation down. I tell my kids, sometimes I catch them. I did catch them playing games. I said, did you read your word today? They shut the stuff off and then they go read. I said, no, I shouldn't have to tell you to do this. Oh boy. Yep. They need career women. It says, for the commandment, it says, for the commandment is a lamp, and the law light and reproof of instruction. See, Christians say this done away with. We can't use this no more. It's all done away with. No, they love to quote the Psalms and Proverbs, but the Psalms and Proverbs just telling you to keep the law, especially Psalm 119, the whole chapter, the Hebrew alphabet. Go watch that class, the Hebrew ABCs. It says, to keep them from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman, calling you Big Daddy and hey papi, ding 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 ding. I think the hey papi and papi, Big Daddy, saying the ooh you so strong. Yeah, my wife she tell me I'm strong all the time. Get thee away from me, you strumpet. Tell her get out of here. Get out of here, strumpet. It says, lust not after her beauty in thine heart, like them dudes in Susanna. Neither let her take thee with her eyelids. You got some in your eye? Man, you need to see a doctor. I got some eye drops back there. By means of a whorish woman. See, a woman can be a whorish, a man can be too. He said, and for by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread. And the adulterers will hunt for the precious life. Can a man take fire to it? Don't be trying to see how close you. Well, I'm just gonna go over here. Ain't nothing gonna happen. And his clothes not be burned. Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned? I'm just gonna go over here and watch TV. That's all. She just my friend. He's just my friend, man. I'm struggling up here, y'all. It's the hold on. Yeah. He said, I tried to do it, I gotta put them on. But it said, men do not despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. But whosoever committed adultery with a woman lacks understanding. What he lack? What understanding do he lack? Don't commit adultery. He that doeth it, you destroy your own soul, and honor and dishonor shall be get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will not regard any ransom. You mess with a man right now, man, you mess with my woman. You can forget your money, keep your gifts. I want your life. Though thou givest many gifts. Let's go. Last one, Proverbs 7. I think this is the last long one, though. We almost done. My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee. Keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of your eye. So when it said thou shalt not commit adultery, these are all of the things explaining what it is. You need the Old Testament to know what it is. Yeah, we know that old school 8 feet. Oh boy. It says bind them up upon thy fingers and write them upon the table of thine heart. This ain't new. Romans chapter 10 is not the first place where you see this at. Say unto wisdom, thou art wisdom, you my sister. The law, you my sister. And call understanding, you my kinswoman. That's the law. They may keep thee from the strange woman, from the stranger with flatterers with her words. For at the time of my house, I looked through my casement and beheld among the simple ones, the stupid ones, before they don't know nothing. I discerned among the youths a young man void of understanding, passing through the street near her corner. Don't go. And she went the way of her house. In the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark of night. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of a harlot, lingerie draws on, and subtile of heart. She is loud and stubborn. Sound like some groups of women I know today. Her feet abide not. Can't stay in her house, always outside. Go in the house, woman. She got on harlot clothes. But she is without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner. So she caught him and kissed him. I tell him, you strumpet, get off me. You hussy, get on. It says, and she caught him and kissed him, and with an impudent face said unto him, I have a peace offering with me. This day have I paid my vows. She a church woman. I got peace offering. I went to the temple and paid my vows. Yeah, we had a good time. We was in the Holy Ghost. Therefore I came forth to meet thee, diligently to seek thy face. I have found thee. I have decked my bed, got nice, the top, Macy's? I guess that's high top line quality tapestry with carved works and with fine linen of Egypt. You can't leave Egypt alone, huh? I have perfumed my bed. Who smell good up in here, girl? With myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning, to the break of dawn. No, my wife at the house, no. let us solace ourselves with love. For the good man is that my husband, he ain't home. He is gone on a long journey. No, he ain't. He round the corner coming back with the shotgun. He have taken a bag of money with him and will come home he ain't gonna be here for a few days. With her much fair speech, she caused him to yield with the flattering lip. Okay. He goeth after her straightway as an ox goeth to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks, till a dart strike through his liver as a oh my goodness. That's a shotgun blast that went through your liver because the husband done caught you. Hearken unto me now, therefore, O ye children, and attend to the words of my mouth, and let not thy heart decline to her way. What way? This ain't nothing but this is metaphor for physical adultery and spiritual adultery. We gonna show you a harlot that the Most High don't want us going after. For she have cast down many wounded, yea, many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way to hell. She old, going down to the chambers of death. We gonna show you what happened to them in the Legends of the Jews, Volume 2. This ain't scripts. It's just stories they told. But let's go. This is when Moses visits paradise. And as Moses entered hell, the fire withdrew at a distance of 500 parasangs. I don't know how far that is. And the angel of hell, Nasargiel, asked him, who are you? And he answered, I am Moses, the son of Amram, and his mama was Yoshabel. So Nashiel said, this is not thy place. You belongest in paradise. The other side of Sheol. You had a righteous side, and you had the wicked side, like the story that Yeshua told. He said, I came hither to see the manifestation of the power of Yah. Then said Yah to the angel of hell, go and show hell unto Moses and how the wicked are treated there. Immediately he went with Moses, walking before him like a pupil before his master. And thus they entered hell together, and Moses saw men undergoing torture by the angels of destruction. Some of the sinners were suspended by their eyelids, some by their ears, some by their hands, and some by their tongues. And they cried bitterly, and women were suspended by their hair and by their breasts, and in other ways, all on chains of fire. Nargiasel said, these hang by their eyes because they look lustfully upon the wives of their neighbors, and with the covetous eye upon the possession of their fellow men. You see, pride, the lust of the eyes. Yeshua told you pluck that out so you don't end up in this place right here. It says, these hang by their ears because they listen to empty and vain speech and turn their ear away from hearing the Torah. Ooh. These hang by their tongues because they talk slander and accustom their tongue to foolish babbling. These hang by their feet because they walk with them in order to spy upon their fellow men. But they walk not to the synagogue to offer prayer unto their Creator. These hang by their hands because with them they rob their neighbors of their possession. We should say it. And but they committed murder. We already seen that one. These men hang by their hair. These women hang by their hair and their breasts because they uncovered them in the presence of young men, so that they conceived desire unto them and fell into sin. Uncovering their breasts. This is Tiggo bitties, as they say in these hip hop songs. Moses heard hell cry with a loud and bitter cry, saying to Nargiasel, give me something to eat. I'm hungry. Ain't no eating down there. Nargiasel said to the people that's hollering, I'm hungry. He said, what shall I give thee? And they said, give me the, no, he said, who is this? Give me something to eat. I'm hungry. What shall I give thee? This hell saying, give me the souls of the pious. The Holy One, blessed he, will not deliver the souls of the pious unto thee. Why? Hell enlarging itself with what? The wicked. Moses saw the place called Aluka, where where people were suspended by their feet, their heads downward, and their bodies covered with black worms. You know, the Bible said, where their worm dies not, is worms. And 500 parasangs long. They lamented and cried, woe unto us for the punishment of hell. Give us death that we may die. That's coming. That's coming, y'all, when you get cast into the lake of fire. These are the sinners who swore falsely, profaned the Sabbath and the holy days. All these Sunday people, we ain't got to keep no Sabbath. Jesus, my Sabbath. Holy day, that's done away with. They despise the sages, call their neighbors by unseemly nicknames, wrong the orphan, wrong the widow, and bore false witness. Therefore have Yah delivered them to these worms. These are the sinners who I skipped some. These are the sinners who have caused the Israelites to lose their money, who exalted themselves above the community, who put their neighbors to shame in public, who delivered their fellow Israelites into the hands of the Gentiles, who denied the Torah of Moses. You can read the rest of that on your own. Let's show you some fornication, because we done showed you physical. We showed the spiritual too. But this is Revelation 20 through 26. It says, notwithstanding, this is talking about the church of Thyatira. Notwithstanding, I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that woman Jezebel, which calleth herself a prophetess, to teach and seduce my servant to commit fornication. What in the heck would that be? There you go, right there. Fornication is in this particular these few verses 2 times. But the first one is pornuo, porn. You see the women that uncover their breasts? You go into to these sites that you shouldn't be going to. You're gonna be hung by your eyelids. You're gonna be hung by your breasts, women, according to the traditions. But it says pornuo. It says to prostitute one's body to the lust of another, to give oneself to unlawful sexual intercourse, to commit fornication, to be given to idolatry, to worship idols. That's fornication. That's uncleanness. That's why Ezra said, put them away. Get away from these people. And there with a pentagram in her little, what they say, my she shed. She got a pentagram out there putting blood on and whatever. Not what? My goodness, there was this one woman on YouTube saying how to deal with people of the Abrahamic faith. She was dressed in all black. She was a witch. She was saying pray to Satan and all that kind of mess. And it's like if you're around them, you can pray to yourself. You ain't got to say it out loud. Satan can hear you. The Bible said that the Most High alone is able to hear the thoughts of men, know man's hearts and secrets, inner things. Get away from them. Let's go back. It says that this was Jezebel. She said to seduce my servants to commit fornication and eat things sacrificed to idols. And I had gave her a space to repent of her fornication. There's another, fornication, and that she repented not. The other fornication right there, porneia. Why in the world is it saying porneia and pornography are close, akin to one another? You watching images. Got a little book. Throw that mess out. Burn that mess up. Sending Victoria's Secret catalogs to these women's house. Throw that mess out. We don't need that. Remember years ago when I was probably about 19, 20 years old, this girl went to the mall with her. Oh, let's go into Victoria's Secret. I said, I ain't going in there. Oh, you stop being like that. I said, I ain't going in there. I ain't going up in there. That ain't for men to go up in there. She thought I was a goofball. Yeah, I'm goofball. I ain't going in there. If some women come out on me, he was this, he was that. He was this, he was that. There's gonna be a whole bunch of them that come out and say, no, he ran up at my house one time. No, I couldn't get him. I tried to get him. Some people were successful, but couldn't get him. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy, but for the most part, bro, Ronnie, if he failed, it wasn't because he wasn't trying not to. I'm trying to tell you. But anyway, he says, and behold, I would cast her into a bed, and them that commit adultery with her into great tribulation, except they repent of their deeds. And I will kill her children with death, and all the churches shall know that I am he which searches the reins and the heart. Not the devil, woman on YouTube dressing all black lipstick with a pentagram behind you. He searches the reins of the heart. And I will give unto every one of you according to your works. But unto you I say, and unto the rest in Thyatira, as many as have not this doctrine, which have not known the depths of Satan. All of that stuff is the depths of Satan. Get out of it. It's fornication. It's adultery. I tell y'all, 17, talking about a whore. We saw Israel committing whoredoms. You think people ain't committing whoredoms today? Yes, they committing whoredoms today. How many more we got? Y'all, I'm going to need about 15 to 20 more minutes. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials and talked with me, saying, come hither, I will show thee the judgment of the great whoredoms that sitteth on many waters all across the world, which whom the kings of the earth had committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth, these folks drunk with Christmas, with all these holidays. They drunk with it. Go out here driving, hustle and bustle on the Shabbat. What? I'm telling you. You say going grocery shopping, you see more bread. Yes, you do. Tico bitties everywhere. We just went Monday. We went to Magic Springs, Arkansas. Took our kids to this little, where they can ride little rides and stuff like they had a little water park and stuff. Just breasts everywhere. I'm like, my goodness, what's going on around here? You know, took the look. See, you can't see that thing. You got to go on vacation on the Shabbat. No, we just went on a vacation. We just went on a vacation on the regular days of the week. Yes, we did. But they would commit fornication. Make her laugh at these expressions. I'm just being me, Mama J Pope. But you see, mother of harlots, man. But what that whore and harlots? Look at it. Because back then, they were like, well, I ain't doing it today. Christmas, you got your little Santa Claus lingerie on for your husband. You doing the same thing. They went into these, we don't got no temple today. Dummies, you the temple. Know ye not that your body is a temple of the Most High? When you partaking in all this stuff, you the temple of Diana. If you partaking in all these holidays, you the temple of Zeus. You the temple of Artemis. Don't you know that? You're supposed to be the temple of the Most High, but you are adulterating. You are fornicating. That's why he left it blank like that. You know adultery. You, thou shalt not commit adultery, neither shall you commit adultery. All of this, spiritual and physical adultery, fornication. Says this is Babylon, i.e. Rome, the seat of idolatry. 1 Corinthians 6, 9 through 20. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit? Paul telling you, the unrighteous, the people that break the law, you ain't going to inherit the kingdom of Yah. Be not deceived, neither fornicators. We done been defining this all the time. No idolaters, no adulterers, no effeminate. You know, that ain't getting in. Nor abusers of themselves with mankind. Just with that Home Depot yesterday. Big old guy about 6'5", big old dude, tight stuff on like he a woman. I said, I just fogged my glasses up. I said, sweet as cotton candy, soft as cottonelle tissue. Big 6'5", almost 260, 65, 70 pound man. Charmin, don't squeeze the Charmin. I'm trying to tell. Oh, yeah. That's right, Daughter Sarah. We almost finished, y'all. Boy, they don't want to get me out there on the loose on this world. They see we small now. We what they call small fries right now. We ain't got but 668 subscribers. But at least somebody listening. Share this with everybody, folks. It says, no thieves are drunk. We'll get to that next week. But down at the bottom, verse 12, all things are lawful for the Christians to take the all things lawful for me to not to do. No, he talking. What's the context of all the stuff he was just saying up there in Rome, in Corinth? It ain't nothing wrong. And back then, it wasn't Roman law, Corinth law, whatever you were. It wasn't against the law to go into against human law to go into these places. To go into the temple of Diana. He said, all things are lawful for me, but not all things are expedient. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. Meats for the belly. Letting you know, he talking about foods offered up to idols. Where would you get them? At the temples. Meats for the belly, or food for the belly and belly for meats. But Yah shall destroy both it and them. Now the body is not for fornication. Now what is that? What not for fornication? Eating things offered to idols. Stop participating in this stuff. Who you think was at these places? Temple prostitution. People that ain't boy, you better do some research. You see what was going on in these places. Just probably strip clubs ain't got nothing on these places. It says, I never been in one, but you see a movie and how you see them dancing and gyrating and stuff, and you like, oh my goodness, fast forward this part, this mess. Now the body is not for fornication, but for who? For the Most High, and the Most High for the body. Verse 14. And Yah have both raised up the Lord and will raise up us by his own power. Know ye not that your bodies are members of Hamashiach? Shall I then take the members of Hamashiach and make them members of a harlot? That's fornication. That's adultery, physical and spiritual. What? Know ye not that he which is joined to a harlot is one body? For two, saith he, shall be one flesh. But he that is joined unto the Lord is one spirit. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without or outside the body, but he that committed fornication committed sin against his own body. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Most High? It ain't the temple of Artemis. It ain't the temple of Zeus. It ain't the temple of Diana of the Ephesians. He said, which your body is the temple of the Ruach, which is in you, which ye have of Yah, and ye are not your own. You ain't your own. Your body is the temple. It ain't your own body. Stop inking it up with getting tatted all up. That ain't you don't own that body. Would you go to if it was a temple in Jerusalem, would you go in there with your graffiti all on the temple? No, of course you would not. Your body should be treated the same way. Most High has never allowed pigs to be offered on in his altar. And the only person that did that was Antiochus Epiphanes. And they had the Judas Maccabees, and then go read the Maccabees. They went and stopped that, put a stop to that. But you putting swine in your temples today. Most High don't change, but he let you put swine in the temple now. Stop. He didn't let them write on the temple walls, but we got freedom in Yeshua. I can get a tattoo if I want to. Right. You are bought with a price. Money. He paid money for you. Well, not money, blood for you. But in the Old Testament, a husband paid money for their wife. And he expected her to keep herself clean and pure only for him. Therefore, I glorify Yah in your body and in your spirit, which are Yah's. But horror, you see it. You know, we mean the same word, porne. Because the two women, Israel and Judah, them was the Most High's two wives. Whoredoms they did. We ain't gonna read all that. We're gonna read some of it. It said, but Aholah and Aholabah, they committed whoredom. This was Samaria and Jerusalem. Verse 7. She says she committed her whoredoms with them and with all them that were chosen men of Assyria. That's what she did. And with all of whom she doted, lusting after them, doted, just looking at them. Man, look at, ooh, we girl. Tall drink of water now. That Assyria over there. No, you Israel. Doting after me. I wish my wife would dote after some other dude. That'll be the last doting she would ever dote. Aisha Curry. No, I was gonna say this about her on a show or something. Take a man with no shirt come out carrying some, what's her name? It's all over the internet, and she take her ring off. Ooh, girl. Take her ring off, like, ooh, man, that divorce lawyer disrespecting me on TV like that. Are you crazy? Yeah, a man, Sarah, Abraham was one flesh with Sarah. He was one flesh with Hagar too. Yes, he was. Most High was one flesh with Israel and Judah. Is it best? No, it ain't the best. But yeah, go watch the polygyny class. You know, it's up there for you. But anyway, what she the whoredoms? Neither she left her whoredoms brought from Egypt. We still doing Egyptian stuff. You keeping having birthdays. You an Egyptian. Yeah. Look, go watch the birthday class. Well, you see, all these whoredoms. She doted upon her. Whoredoms. What they do? They defiled her with their whoredoms. Just whoredom, fornication, all of that. And for she doted upon their paramours. What the world is that? Well, we're going to look at whoredom first. That word that we already seen it. Zalno, harlotry, paramours, of pelagesh. Yeah, right. A pelagesh, a concubine, a paramour, concubine, paramour. That's what Solomon was talking about. I ain't got all these concubines. And do y'all know concubines most of the time are always sent away? Go look at what Abraham did. He sent them concubines away. He gave them gifts and sent them away. Hagar sent away. You want to be a wife. Concubines don't get inheritance rights. Matthew 13:4. It says marriage is honorable in all. So what we shouldn't be committing adultery. It's honorable. And the marriage bed undefiled. That means don't be bringing junk in there. But whoremongers and adulterers, the Most High will judge. He gonna judge you. James 4:4. Ye adulterers and now you read James chapter 4. He ain't said nothing about no sex or nothing. No sex or nothing. What he talking about? But he called them, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that friendship with the world is enmity with Yah? No sex mentioned. From 1 all the way to we gonna go to 11. None. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of Yah. Do ye think that the scripture saith in vain, the spirit that dwelleth in us lusteth to envy? The Most High Spirit is envious when you giving the world more credence than what you giving him. But he giveth more grace. Wherefore he said, Yah, he resists the proud. Ain't nothing wrong with what I'm doing. But he resisted the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. You know what? That is what the Bible say. I'm wrong. That is what it say. I'm wrong. Submit yourself, therefore, to Yah. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. That dude don't give you no. He don't give you no marriage covenant, and he don't take care of you. Draw nigh unto Yah, your husband, and he will draw nigh unto you. Cleanse ye your hands, ye sinners. Purify ye hearts, ye double-minded. You can't do the things of the world and do the things of the Most High. You can't do them both. Man can't have two masters. He gonna either love the one and hate the other. Can't serve the Most High and Mammon. Go watch our Mammon class. Been back a while. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy in the heavens. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Most High, and he shall lift you up. Speak not evil of one another, brethren. He that speaketh evil on his brother and judgeth his brother speaketh evil of the law, and judgeth the law. But if thou judge the law, thou art not a doer of the law, but that folks can judge the law. That's old. We can't do that no more. You just judge the law. You deem the law useless. You in trouble. Hormone. He said you adulterers and you adulteresses. That's what he just called. You'll see. What we've been talking about today. Adultery and fornication. You'll see the definition. Revelation 20. They ain't getting in. But the fearful, and the unbelieving, and the abominable, and the whoremongers, and the sorcerers. Let's look at that word sorcerers real quick. Man, yeah, go get a plate. Man, I don't want none of that mess. Now, if you eat it to you it's just food, but I don't even want it, you know. I don't go to no Christmas feast. Now I don't go to this. I just no. Y'all can keep that. They got a little lunch in there work for a ballot, and I don't want none. Just cake, but I don't want none. I'm gonna look up that word. We're gonna look at that word sorcerer right there. Yo, husband, yo, wife, a drug head. That's fornication. You know, I meant to put it in here. I think the word is pharmakeia. Hold on, let's see it. 21:8. And let's see. Whoremonger. Let's see. Pharmakeus. What's the definition? A drug that is spell, given potion. A druggist, a pharmacist, or a poisoner. They on crack drugs. They sorcerers. That's fun. That's part. All sin is fornication and adultery, y'all. Yeah, all sin is adultery against your creator. Get them out of there. I don't need drugs. Now, Brother Ronnie, what about medicine? Now you go to Sirach chapter 38. We ain't talking about, we talking about drugs that is made to harm people, not help people. Bible said that the physician, the Most High, done that. Go read all of Sirach chapter 38. It said, whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Up and down. Now I want to show you all apocrypha in apocryphal adulterer. This Sirach 25. It said, these sorts of men my soul hateth, and I am greatly offended at their life. A poor man that is proud, a rich man that is a liar, and an old adulterer that doted. You know, like that's the same thing as these women that doted, that doted after Assyria and Babylon and all them people. Israel doted after them. An old adulterer, an old dirty man. Just doting after all the women. Well, it be, I mean, I done work jobs with dudes, they be like, and I'd be like, okay, whatever. they think something wrong with me. Oh boy, they think something wrong with me. But anyway, it said at this Wisdom 3:16, it says, as for the children of the adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection, and the seed of an unrighteous bed shall be rooted out. What how you think? The Most High couldn't let that baby that David and Bathsheba had out of adultery. No. He had to be rooted out. Wisdom 14:23-25. For a while as they slew their children in sacrifices, and or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites. Christmas is a strange rite. You don't find it in the Bible with the Most High people doing it. That's a strange rite. Easter, a strange rite. Christmas, that's a strange rite. A birthday, that's a strange rite. They kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another traitorously or grieved him by adultery, so that they reigned in all men without exception: blood, manslaughter, theft, and dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury, all this stuff, breaking the 10 commandments, basically. Wisdom 14:12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication. I told you, spiritual fornication, physical fornication. Yeshua didn't make a distinction between them. Ezra said, get them out of here. Paul said, try to live with them. Maybe you can win them. But if they leave, let them go. Binding and loosing. Paul loosened that restriction because he figured we can bind it up like that. You can win them over to the Most High. Sirach 23:16. It says, finish that up. And the invention of them of corrupt fornication is the beginning of devising of idols is the beginning of spiritual fornication. Sirach 23:16. 2 sorts of men multiply sin, and the third will bring wrath. A hot mind is as a burning fire. It will never be quenched till it be consumed. A fornicator in the body of his flesh will never cease till he have kindled a fire. All bread is sweet to the whoremonger. He don't turn no women away. He will not leave off to, he just lusting every day of his life. That's a whoremonger. A lover boy. Ooh, lover boy. You know, olive oil. Oh, pie, a lover boy. A man that breaketh wedlock, thus is in his heart, who seeth me? You know, like them two in Susanna. Oh, nobody don't see us. Who seeth me? I am compassed about with darkness, and the walls cover me, and nobody seeth me. What need I to fear? The Most High will not remember my sins. But if you keep reading, it said the Most High's light is brighter, 10,000 times brighter than the sun. He see everything. If you do any of the following, you are in adultery. Sleeping with another's wife or husband. Sleeping with multiple partners without no marriage contract. In the Old Testament, if you got with a woman and you know and you got with a woman, some for them sex is marriage. No, it ain't. You get with a woman, you got to go to their daddy and you got to pay him. You got to pay him. And even when you pay him, he can say, no, you still can't have it, but you still got to pay me. You a whoremonger if you just sleeping with all women and ain't got no marriage contract with them. You just got just women. You ain't taking care of them. You just in and out, in and out. You a whoremonger. A married man can be a whoremonger. He married to a woman and he just go out, well, girl, I'm going out today. He just sleeping with women just here and there. No covenant, no nothing, no connection, no nothing. That's a whoremonger. If you celebrate Christmas, Easter, Halloween, Valentine's, etc., you are in adultery. I don't care what Reverend so-and-so tell you. If you keep Sunday as the Sabbath, you are an adulterer. If you worship idols, adulterer, fornicator. You in sororities, fraternities. I love you, family, friends, co-workers, sister, brothers, whoever it may be. Love you. But you are in adultery. Celebrating, having birthday parties, adulterer. Into the horoscope, adulterer. Watching pornography, going to gentlemen's clubs. You are an adulterer, sir, ma'am. They got the women clubs too. If you just generally just practicing sin every day, you are an adulterer. Because guess what? And because of that, Yeshua, he coming back. And he's saying, behold, I'm coming quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are they that do his commandments. Cursed are them that don't, that they may have right to the tree of life. You don't keep no commandments, you don't have a right to that tree. Like Adam saying, no, you don't have right to this, brother. You don't keep the commands, you don't have right, and you will not enter into the gates of the city. Adam, get out. He had to leave. And the rest of mankind, we seek a city to come. What? New Jerusalem. For on the outside are what? Dogs, perros. No, we talk about puppies today. On the outside are dogs and sorcerers. You know, drug dealers. You a drug dealer. I should have put that on. You a drug dealer? You are an adulterer, fornicator, brother or sister. Stop selling them drugs on the street. Poisoning your people in your community. Cut that out. That class coming. It says, and whoremongers out there, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. I, Yeshua, have sent my angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and offspring of David, the bright and morning star, and the Spirit and the bride said, come on. And let him that heareth say, come, and let him that is athirst come, and whosoever will, let him take of the water of life freely. Brothers and sisters, that is the don't commit adultery. You are in a covenant with the Most High and your earthly spouse. Don't break wedlock with them, because its end is death. Brothers and sisters, thank you for coming out today. That is volume, I believe, what volume is that? 6? Yeah, that's volume 6, commandment 7, because we did volume 1, we did commandments 1 and 2 on volume 1. But guys, thank you for coming out today. Just love and appreciate every one of you. 29 up in here today. All right. That's what. Hey, that's good. That's good. But guys, thank you for coming in today. We truly appreciate you. You got a Bible question, you got a prayer request, go to rapministry.org, go to the contact us, fill out the information. I'll get it and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Pray for us. Pray for those who have death in their families. You know, just pray for them today. You know, if you lose a loved one, it can be torture. It can be torture. So, you know, those people that died in that, they shouldn't have been down there. So they dead though. They got family though. You know, we gotta stop being all this. I don't care about, man. Stop. Cut it out. But guys, love you, appreciate you. Share the message, subscribe, comment, like it, and don't like it, do whatever you do with it, but share it with others. It helps the ministry out tremendously. We love you. We appreciate you. Shabbat shalom to you. Shabbat shalom to you. And we'll see you guys. Thank you for all of your kind words of encouragement. Most High willing, I'll be back next week with another teaching from the Most High. We'll be on Thou Shalt Not Steal next week. That's dealing with me. Now, I wasn't robbing folks and I wasn't breaking in stores and stuff, because I've been with some people who've been doing that. No, I was just slick sly. I'm at your house. Oh, that's a nice watch. That's mine. But we're gonna deal with stealing. You see how we various levels of all of the commandments, different levels. Let him who stole steal no more. We'll see you next time. Shabbat shalom to you. Love everybody. Pray for me. I pray for you. Go out, be an ambassador for Yeshua Mashiach. Shalom to you. We out. Hallelujah.